Kristen. I am a senior over at GCU. I graduate, looks up, right? Looks up, yeah. I graduate in December, which is absolutely blowing my mind. The fact that it's November already is just crazy to me. So thankful to be here with you guys tonight. I don't think in a million years I ever would have expected to be up here sharing the story with you guys. And so I'm thankful, so excited to see what God is going to do tonight. So I'm just going to start with my college experience. So going into college at GCU, I was very excited to be a part of spiritual life. I am a worship leader, and so I was excited to be a part of worship, excited to be in a community where people love Jesus and where people pursue God. But in the middle of pursuing all of this, I reached a point where I was hiding. I was not vulnerable with God. I was able to say the right things, do the right things to make it seem like I knew what I was doing, to make it seem like, I was a good worship leader. I was the up-to-date GCU Christian student that knew what was going on, but in reality, there are parts of my heart that I was hiding from God in an attempt to just create this facade. So fast forward on to sophomore year in the fall. Out of nowhere, I felt lost. I felt confused. I couldn't recognize what I was going through, and I wanted to isolate myself from other people. And I'm a very glasses half full kind of person, so to be experiencing these feelings was very unreal and very unsettling to me, and I just was confused. And in my faith, I was confused too. I had so many questions. I didn't know who God was. I didn't know what He was doing in my life, and I was just ultimately very curious as to where God was leading me. So go to December, I find out I am diagnosed with depression, which again, as a very positive person, was super offsetting to me. I didn't know what to do with that. And I was ultimately forced to face the reality that no matter what kind of facade I put out, no matter how hard I try to be this perfect Christian and this perfect worship leader, I, at the end of the day, am a person that is broken and is in dire need of the saving of Jesus Christ. And it was in those moments that I also wrestled with the fact that, being a Christian, let alone a worship leader, but a Christian altogether, and having depression is very tough. There is this tension, and I struggled with, how can I be a good Christian who has faith in Jesus, who trusts Jesus, and also have depression at the same time? How do the two things coexist? I counted myself out. I didn't think God was going to be able to use me for anything. I was in a season where I was like, you know what, God, you used me for worship leading, you used me to speak to other people, God, but I'm done, I'm out, you can't use me anymore, I'm in a place where I just have nothing to offer. So go on to spring of my sophomore year, I'm just at the end of my rope. I have nothing to give emotionally, and it was in that messiness, in that dark season of my life, that Jesus met me right where I am. It was in that messiness that I was able to create this deeply rooted dependence in Jesus, where I needed Him for everything that I was doing, whether it be spiritual, whether it be worship leading, whether it be literally getting out of bed and going to class. I needed Him. I needed Him more than I ever needed Him before. And without that dependence in Jesus, I don't know where I'd be now. But man, I look back on that season, and it was the hardest season of my life, but I am just in awe of everything that God did in that season for me, because it really clarified to me, who God is and how consistent He is. And man, what a God to intervene in my life, to see that I was heading down this direction of trying to seek after perfection in the eyes of the world. He was kind enough to intervene and throw this wrench into my plans and say, look, this is going to hurt, it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to lead you down this path because it's for my glory that you're going to be coming out of this season, If I were to have gone down that other path, I don't know where I'd be today, but because I went through that season, God is faithful, and I'm in front of you guys right now sharing this story of redemption. And so I want to encourage you guys, I don't know what's going on in your lives. I don't know what you have going on. Maybe everything's going great. Maybe you're going through a season like I experienced, where out of nowhere you feel lonely and isolated and confused. But I want to affirm you, God is with you in this season. He has never left your side. And even though you might not feel Him, He is working to bring glory through your story. And at the end of the day, I can sit here and say, I am a broken person. He doesn't expect that perfection from me, and He doesn't expect that perfection from any of you guys. So let's come before Him, let's step into that vulnerability and challenge Him to see, what is He going to do with our lives? Because when I stepped into that vulnerability, when I took that step of faith to come before God and just say, here I am, I'm broken, I don't know what I'm doing, that's when He made moves. That's when He decided to use me, not when I was trying to be perfect. So I encourage you, as we go into this next song of worship, let's just bring Jesus the praise. Let's bring Him vulnerability, even when let's see how he's going to show up in this moment as we go into